Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 8. So Module 8 is the midpoint for the semester, which means a couple of things. First of all, we're going to have a midpoint reflection on your goals to see whether or not you're meeting them. You also have the opportunity to give some feedback on the class in the form of a midpoint survey. The other thing that you will want to think about is checking your grades. Some of you I know keep up with them pretty regularly, and some students never click on that grades tab. So this would be a really good time to click on the grades tab, look at the feedback that I've been giving you, look to see if you've missed points on assignments and why, if you have a 0 on an assignment that you thought you turned in. I always leave feedback when I have to give a 0 on something. Typically it's because students uploaded the wrong file, so check that kind of thing. Just keep an eye on those grades, because the further we get into the semester, the harder it is to fix issues that happened toward the beginning. So the faster you can email me or contact me, the quicker I can get all that sorted out for you. So midpoint, we're also moving on to poetry in this unit. So we've got part of the semester, the first part of the semester is just kind of introduction to creative writing and then the short stories. Now we're moving into poetry. Poetry is a whole different genre to write. And so switching from one to the other, sometimes students find a little bit challenging. I've got a lot of resources for you to start off with. And so we've got 2 sections from the textbooks. Both textbooks have a good introduction to poetry section, and they have some videos. This one has some videos embedded in it that will really help you, and some examples. So it gives you kind of a nice overview. I also have some videos linked in. They're not required, but you certainly can watch them. Billy Collins, I don't know if you've ever read a Billy Collins poem, but he has some fun poems. They're a little bit humorous, and he was a former U.S. Poet Laureate. And then the last video I have in here, which you can actually see here, when you click on the link, it's going to take you to the Films on Demand database, and it should link you straight to the video, but you will have to log in with your Allen ID and password because it's one of the databases through the library. And this video, I love this video. I always show this in my face-to-face classes. These guys are walking around San Francisco with a refrigerator, and they have a bunch of magnets on it, and they ask just random people on the street to create poems and then talk about why they created the poem that they did. And so it really shows you how just the average person can find meaning in poetry that they didn't necessarily expect. Plus, this concept is also going to be used for one of your assignments. So once you have read the sections of the book, take a look at the resources, now you're ready for the quiz. Quiz is just introduction to poetry. It's a lot of the basics of poetry writing and kind of terms and concepts that you're going to need. So just like short stories, we kind of do an overview first, and then later chapters will get into a lot more of the terminology. The next thing you're going to do is some elements practice. So we're not even writing a poem yet. You're not writing your first poetry assignment yet. We're actually going to start with just some practice elements. The first one is to use this Poetry Magnet website. And so once you've watched this video, you'll kind of see where the inspiration for this part of the assignment came from. But this website has, it's just poetry magnets. And so I have a poetry magnet kit at home, so I probably do this, on a magnet or something, a magnetic surface, but I'm assuming the majority of you don't have them. So using it online is like the next best thing. So basically what this does is just gives you a bunch of random words, and then you have to, you're just going to create a poem. So, I want mine to be about repulsive honey, because I think repulsive is a cool word. And then, I'm going to say, and it may not make sense. I need a verb in here. Lather is not a good word. When symphonies stop. Some of these will be a little bit, you may have an S or something, and some of it will be a little bit weird looking. So it may mean nothing. I feel like this is a great poem right here. Award-winning. Let's print it right here. You may need to do a screenshot of it, take a picture with your phone, picture of your screen with your screen, or something, and then, or some students will just recreate it in a Word document, that's fine too. But basically, you're just going to create your poem, take a picture of it, and then upload it into your Word document. The other two parts of this is the second element you're going to practice is a little bit of mimicry. And so we have a William Carlos Williams poem titled Just to Say, and he eats someone's plums. And so there's a copy of it here through the Poetry Foundation, but you can see I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they're so delicious, so sweet, and so cold. So your task will be to create a poem which is a little tongue-in-cheek, at least 5 lines, that basically says, sorry I did this, but, and then this is what I gained out of it. So I'm not actually sorry, like sorry, not sorry kind of thing. And so a little tongue-in-cheek and mimic kind of his style here, the tone of his poem. And then the last thing that you're going to do is practice with different line lengths. So once you do the readings, you'll start to see that poetry, the length of the line can really affect how a reader reads a poem. And so what you're going to do is write a poem, and you're going to, the first version is going to have like really short lines, so it'll be a couple of words, and then the second version will have really long lines. So if it's easier, you can write the long one first and then just chop it up. So long lines and then chop it down to 2 or 3 words for each one. That's fine too. But basically the idea is that it's the same words to the poem, but some of the one version, you're going to have like 2 or 3 really long lines, and then the other version is going to be 10 really short lines, so single words or 2 or 3 words. And so the idea is that you'll read the poem completely differently based on whether or not it's got really short lines or really long lines. So you've got those 3 that you'll do practice wise, and you'll just put them all in the same document and upload them. And then, so that's our written assignment. And then the other part of the module is the midpoint part. So you're going to reflect on the semester. You sent me a welcome email right at the beginning, and you should have set a goal in that email. And so the first thing you want to do is kind of reflect on whether or not you've met that goal, and kind of talk about the assignments themselves. What's been fun, what's been challenging, what's your biggest takeaway from it? Is there anything you need to change for the rest of the semester? What do you hope to get out of it? Is there anything you want me to know about? There maybe you started a new job or something. So things that I should know about in your personal life that may affect your schoolwork. And then what grade would you give yourself right now? You can answer these in like an essay form if you want, or in a numbered list. We will look at this again at the end of the semester when you do your final semester reflection. So that one will be more of an essay. This one, students will often just do as a list, numbered list, and they'll just answer each question, with a sentence or 2. So just kind of reflecting on what you've done so far and what you have yet to do. And then the last thing in the module is optional, and that is a midpoint survey. You can see it's worth 0 points, but if you complete it, then I put 5 points extra credit in the grade book for you. So that's just another opportunity for extra credit. It is anonymous, so I don't see your name attached to it. But if there is anything for the rest of the semester that you feel like would help you, feel free to add that in there. Sometimes I can make some changes, partway through, just to help students out a little bit better. So if you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.